Now, you can see from the title, I don't normally do these top 10. I do lists, but not normally kind of such a regimented list. But these are my top 10 fragrances that make you go oof. So yeah, fragrances that do give you that kind of oof factor, that they smell absolutely incredible, kind of make you weak at the knees kind of fragrances. Not necessarily on other people. I mean, I don't know about you or me, but I certainly enjoy smelling oofy and all, like you can't stop smelling yourself and you'd like to give yourself a big snuggle and a kiss kind of fragrance. And it's getting to that sort of season now, as it's getting cooler, where these kind of fragrances, I don't know, they seem a bit more kind of prominent. They tend to be a little more of a fragrance, don't they? And suitable for the cooler weather. I think it's really obvious what this is about, so that's it, that's the introduction. Right, we'll get into it. They're in no particular order, so we're going to start with Guerlain's Petite, Robe, Noir, Black Perfecto. Now this is one of them fragrances, I've smelled it on other people as well as myself. It's just quite magical, isn't it? But it's quite, it's not as dark and intense and what have you. It's a little more of a friendly kind of DNA from this type. Obviously it's from Guerlain. It's primarily a very smooth suede leather with cherry, violet, you know, them kind of things in it. And it's there's a lot more going on. There might be a bit of iris and kind of other flowers in there, obviously, but they're kind of the main notes, and it all comes together to give this kind of dark, sensual kind of thing. This is, you know, someone all in maybe a black dress, like a glint in their blue eyes kind of glinting at you. They maybe have a leather jacket on. You smell a little bit kind of musky from their natural musk, that kind of musk that drags you in and makes you want to, you know, yeah, that makes you kind of want to devour them. It's one of them that you could wear in a restaurant and they'd be sat across from you. You'd want to go in and kind of nuzzle and you know, kind of bury your nose and your lips in the crook of their neck and that, and just sniff them and take it all in. It's really a magnificently beautiful fragrance. On me it's not quite as musky, but yeah, Guerlain's La Petite Robe Noir is quite a seductive one, isn't it? Next is the most summery, if you like. In fact, I'd say more spring one on the list. It's more of a greener one, and that's Miller Harris's Found at Dusk. Now this fragrance is to me personally is all about the blackcurrant, but the blackcurrant everything, the fruit, the bush, the environment it grows in, you know, a lovely kind of luscious dewy forest, the smell of the aromatic notes in the air, you know, maybe some fresh kind of enjoyable herbs in there, kind of minty blackcurrant bush, you know, so it's kind of one way you'd have a little bit of a frolic, you know, spring, the sun's come out for the first time, you're feeling a bit of warmth in there. And blackcurrant, I know it's quite divisive, some people don't like it, some people find it a little bit pissy and what have you, but I'd say it's quite a juicy, dark, lovely fruit. I love it, and I think someone wearing this would give you that kind of image in your mind of you know, being in a spring mood, walking through a spring forest, rolling in these kind of bushes and the green and everything like that. Again, I'm not going to make these especially long, but I do think Found at Dusk is lovely. Just spring moments, spring tenderness, isn't it, really? And blackcurrant is just, I know blackcurrant isn't a big thing outside Europe, is it really? But here it's just, I don't know, it makes you think of spring and stuff, and Ribena and good times and sweetness, and the right amount of tartness and stuff like that. So yeah, that's found at Dusk from Miller. Next is again, some of these could be considered quite divisive, is Chanel's Coco. Now this is your kind of more vintage leaning one, and the cloves are where it's at. It's cloves, vanilla, resins, you know, all that sort of thing. And it's got this. It smells older than the 80s, but you know, obviously we associate with it the 80s and that. And this is your kind of well put together kind of person. You know, this is someone who's like successful in their job. Maybe, you know, some sort of manager or someone who holds a lot of responsibility. They are very confident that they don't take no crap from. They don't take no crap from no one. What am I saying? Don't take any crap from anyone. They're, you know, very sophisticated, and also the kind of the person with that kind of naughty smell in this one. Not as much as it used to be in the old days, but they're sort of the kind of person who would seduce you and drag you into the storeroom and that. And there's something about, I know again it's quite love or hate, isn't it? Cloves and musks and stuff. I can understand how some people think they just smell a bit dirty and a bit whatever, but sometimes that's a very kind of powerful and seductive kind of feeling, isn't it? So that's Chanel's Coco. Next is Date with a Dame. I've spoken so much about this from One Way Bridge. It's just a magnificent fragrance, really. It's the musks and the tuberose and the cherry feel about it. All them things together, as we know, are quite seductive. There's no cherry, but the tuberose, the way it goes and that, and you know, we know what tuberose is like. It's just one of them flowers, you know, that was banned allegedly in certain places, wasn't it? Because it was too seductive. It put people too out of control and that, and it's done so well in this with all the different musks that it's one that you cannot resist. This would be maybe going out for kind of a drink with friends with your partner and that, and you're just not being able to kind of stop touching them or keep your eyes off them, or not wanting to kiss them or again nuzzle them and that. It's one of them that would probably encourage lots of PDAs and things, and other people are going to love it around them. It's just quite a magnificent fragrance, really. It deserves far more attention. This is going to be the shortest one because I have spoken so much about this one. So let's Date with a Dame from One Way Bridge. Next is another kind of divisive one again. Maybe there's something about divisive ones that are slightly naughty that kind of work well in this sort of video, isn't it, really? Black Orchid from Tom Ford. Now, it's one that you slowly enjoy more and more, isn't it? There is another Tom Ford in here as well, actually, but you know what that is. But Black Orchid it's dark florals, little bits of booziness in it. There's a kind of weird muskiness about it. The dark fruits are even a bit weird. Is there truffle in this one or something like that? Mushroom of some sort. There's some sort of really weird kind of note and feeling about it, and it is one, I'll admit, you have to kind of be in the mood for. But sometimes on some people it's the sweeter notes that really kind of jump off, and it's that dark sweetness, isn't it? The kind of fancy orchid note and the dark florals, and it's one of them that I think it intrigues you a lot. If you smelt someone in this, you know, some person, I don't know, riding on the train or something, you could smell them and you get all these images in your mind about what they do and who they are. You know, maybe there's some sort of highwayman or something on an evening. They go out kind of robbing the rich to give to the poor. Or maybe there's some sort of international spy, you know, going to great meetings and things and seducing other spies and sending secrets back to Washington and things like that. You know, maybe it's that kind of mystery about it, the intrigue, as well as it being, you know, a traditionally kind of sweet and seductive, unusual fragrance. There's that element of it, isn't it? And I think we all kind of are attracted to the mystery, to something unusual, and you want to keep going back for more and more. And that's Tom Ford's Black Orchid. Then we have Alien from Mugler, the original version, and this is one that's very dear to me. And I've spoken about the effect it's had on me before, and that it's dark jasmine and musks and a little bit of cashmere used how it used to be, where it's nice and adds a bit of depth and bite to the fragrance. Now obviously it's changed over the years, but we're talking the original here. There's something about the musk and the jasmine. Now we know jasmine, you know, is a seductive kind of note. It is a note that we all kind of like, and it does have an effect on us all. There's something about it, isn't there? This isn't one that I call an indolic one, where it's naturally indolic, because it's not. It's a very synthetic fragrance. But there is a kind of synthetic indolicness, I think, about this, where there is something naughty there, but it's not dirty and it's not kind of carnal, but it's there. It's really hard to describe because, well, a lot of people don't know what indols are and stuff, do they? But it's like a clean indol, if you, because it is synthetic and because it's made. And it's not meant to be dirty, but there's something about it, again, it's that intrigue that draws you in. There's something naughty in Alien. There's something very sexual, if you like, is what I'm trying to say. And it kind of, it makes you want to, again, it's one of them that's going to make you purr and growl at someone. It's going to be like, oh, you know, it's not going to be a sort of gentle love-making session. This is ripping clothes off, breaking tables kind of carnal musky goodness, isn't it? Anyway, I'm rambling on and on. We all know what Alien is, so Mugler's Alien, the proper version. Then we have Rolling in Love. Now I'm not going to waffle on loads about this one again like some of the others. I've mentioned it so many times, we know what it is. It's Zambret, again, tuberose, jasmine in this, the freesia, iris, I think. You don't really smell a lot of them, but it all comes together to be like this soft, tender skin. This is going to bed with somebody, isn't it? And not necessarily for a bit of, you know, how's your father, just some soft kisses over the slightly salty, musky skin, and just tenderness and what have you. But it will inevitably lead, as these musks warm up and get more and more kind of and it will lead to more and more. It's irresistible. It's sensual, carnal magnetism, isn't it? It's love, like it says. It starts off tender and lovely, and then you get to the point of obsession and devouring someone, and you know it gets a bit sweaty and whatnot, and then after again you're still addicted. You still want to smell them, you still want to take them in, you still want that lovely musky kisses and the soft skin, and you just kind of lie there. And again, I'm not Barbara Cartland, so you know, we're not going to go too much into this. We know what Rolling in Love is. It's one very, very special fragrance. So that's Rolling in Love from Kilian. Then we have Lolita Lempicka from Lolita Lempicka, the EDP version. Now this, again, similar to a few of the others on the list. This is your violet. This is dark violet. This is perhaps a little darker than some of the others. Violet, there's, I think again, it's the cherry and stuff in this. Dark fruits, dark, rich, magical, intoxicating fruits. There's a lovely green ivy in the beginning. Not much there, but it is there. And the licorice and it's all these kind of things you want to sink your teeth into and make your mouth water, and it's all together in this fragrance. And again, it takes us to being a lot younger, when we were a lot more kind of, you know, young and free. And somebody wearing this back in, you know, the 2000s or what have you would have been quite an alternative person. They'd have probably had a black and pink striped dress on, a little choke around the neck with the skull on, and long boots up to their knees and that. And there'd have been somebody who was just a little bit out there, but not too out there, because, you know, people were still cool there. And maybe a little bit approachable, but scary approachable. And there'd be someone who would completely take control of you, and, you know, they'd be the one kind of suggesting you go somewhere quiet and all of that, and all them kind of dark sweet notes. Again, kind of a theme, isn't it? Are just very seductive to me personally anyway. So that's Lolita Lempicka from Lolita Lempicka. Then we have a kind of, again, we're back to a more tender one, and that's Amouage's Opus III, which is primarily kind of violet fragrance, isn't it? There's more going on in there. There's quite woody. There's lots of musks. There's could be some violet leaf in there as well, I think. But the ambrette, which I'm pretty sure is ambrette, and violet kind of married together to make this beautiful powdery, seductive purple one. Now again, I'm not going to go on to, I've spoken about this loads, it has that same effect the Lolita Lempicka has, except maybe this one is kind of that girl in modern times. You know, you're both now kind of more mature adult people, but she's still got that kind of uniqueness about her, still got that darkness, that charm, that alluring kind of dark smile and that, except, you know, the powderiness and the kind of more softer tender violet is the insane lust of youth has kind of gone a little bit, and now it's a bit more, there's a bit more about it. It's not just, you know, wild animal, what have you. It's more kind of a tender, slow kind of thing, and that's what Opus 3 is. It's very kind of seductive in a kind of nice way, and the violets are not as dark. They're just more kind of, you know, kisses down the spine kind of way. So that's Opus 3 from that. And finally on this list, how could this list be complete without another Tom Ford Noir de Noir? We all know what this one is. Again, it's like I said before, it's a little bit of a truffle in there. It's dark patchouli, a little bit of sweet chocolatey patchouli in there, as well as the earthiness. It's this dark, almost black rose red wine. It has that little bit of a Turkish delight kind of feel about it. It's just, this is one of them roses. Obviously rose is the most kind of popular flower and associated with love for a reason, isn't it? It's not just its colours, it's the smell of some of the roses are very, they draw you in, don't they? They are dangerous, they're covered in thorns and things like that. And obviously that vampirical thing is that kind of dark earthiness with the red. Black and red kind of go together very well in this kind of idea of love and romance and kind of naughtiness and things, don't they? It's something, I suppose it's danger, isn't it, almost? And that's what we're kind of drawn in by and seduced by. And again, that's, I suppose, the Dracula thing, isn't it? It's the danger, it's the excitement, it's the fun, it's the naughtiness of it all. And again, Noir de Noir, we all know it. I'm not gonna, this video is going to be far too long, so Noir de Noir from Tom Ford. So I have tried to make this video as brief as possible, just a little one of them daft top 10 ones. You know, it's not very exciting or wild. A lot of the fragrances I've mentioned before, which kind of shows these are fragrances that kind of I do genuinely love and do genuinely have this effect on me. And maybe all the fragrances in this video tell a story. They will all kind of be parts of my life already, I imagine, some of them, and taking you to places and memories and situations. And that's a lot of the power of fragrance, isn't it? It does take you to these places, whether in your mind or things in reality and things like that. And maybe that's part of what makes them seductive and alluring. It's where it takes your mind, isn't it? Obviously the smell is a big part of it, but yeah, it has to be a part of it, where it takes you and why it takes you there, and things like that. Anyway, waffling on. What's your most kind of seductive snuggle scent? What fragrances make you go oof? Were there any on this list that surprised you? Probably not. Alright folks, thanks for watching. Bye.